Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to the ArchCast after a week-long break due to a little vacation. Everything's been nice and quiet whilst I've been gone, I'm sure, Vee.
So I was on my live stream last week, and I say, I'll be on the ArchCast. I need to finish earlier. And then I go on the ArchCast, and there was no one. There's like nothing. And then I get messages from people. Did Arch delete the thing? Did he remove it? Because you told us there will be an ArchCast. Why don't you tell me when you go on vacation?
I thought I did, but I maybe didn't.
It's important, Arch. It's important, because otherwise I spread harmful and dangerous misinformation.
Well, that's not my fault.
It's in the past.
It's actually been a rather energetic week. Creative Assembly did their stuff, but honestly, I've already talked about that, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. I'm interested in seeing the rest of the fallout. We are currently in the mad rumor phase of everything, where everyone and their grandmother has 7 insiders telling them everything from Creative Assembly is going bankrupt to selling out to Tencent and etc. It is crazy days at the moment.
The fact that on their forum they're saying that you're not allowed to talk about boycotting their game show me the faith that they have in their product.
Yeah, that too. Well, in reality, I think they did it because of the amount of people alleging to have insider information. Because they mentioned specifically misinformation. So I'm thinking that Creative Assembly is basically looking at all of the rumors, and either they're dead on the money and they're panicking because information is leaking, or it's all just complete nonsense and CA is panicking because they wonder what could possibly pop up next. Bearing in mind that CA is kind of Sega's dog in this regard, so if something truly ridiculous comes out, regardless of whether or not it's true, Sega's probably going to be very, very mad at Creative Assembly.
It's true, right? Like, so far, every single time that we talked about misinformation, that misinformation turned out to be spoilers.
It very often happens, yes.
So who knows?
But there's been quite a lot of other nonsense going on as well. Like the Capcom thing. I put it in the link channel. I'm sure you've seen it. This is just dumb, isn't it? Like, this is... I don't know how to approach this beyond somebody did a dumb, somebody did a stupid somewhere, presumably a Japanese person that doesn't know how video games or computers at all function just decided to shit himself in public.
So I have insiders, Arch. Not with Capcom, but with Blizzard. And I actually discussed this whole thing, like why did Overwatch went after porn? It's not like mods, but it's still the same thing. Like when Overwatch came out, you know, like there was a lot of porn of it. And the reason they were upset is because you would Google Overwatch, and instead of getting the official page on the top, you got porn.
Guarantees citizenship.
And that's why Blizzard went after porn. So like I guess like this is what Capcom is trying to say. It's like if you loot our mods, we don't want, you know, the porn to be on top of the search engine. But that's not how it works anymore. So genuinely, they do not have an argument.
Well, if you just like Google Resident Evil mods right now, the first thing you get is Nexus mod, which is the biggest one, of course. And the front page actually ain't that bad. You've got Jill Valentine alternative costume 1996, where she's got like a crop top and jeans. That's about as offensive as it gets. But of course, there are some mods that are rather spicy. The shirtless Leon one, for example, and many placing Jill Valentine and the other females in risque outfits, shall we say.
They did have a mod which was Ashley naked, and they banned it. Yes. Not Capcom itself, but they put pressure on the Nexus mod team to ban it. The idea of banning mods is a new one, because up until now, mods were the last avenue of free speech. Like, what happens in the sanctity of your own bedroom is no one's business. Like, if you install a mod on your computer, who the fuck cares? But apparently there are people who can't sleep at night if you install mods. Like, they are so concerned with what's on your computer that they will go out of their way to try to ban mods.
See, that's a bit of an interesting point you make there, because you're right. Mods were one of the last few areas in video gaming where nobody really gave a shit. Well, even then, I think that ended over a year ago. Like, that ended with Nexus Mod officially updating their policy, stating that if you are not for diversity, inclusion, yada 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 yada, they'd yeet your ass. Like, that was probably the official end of it. And maybe now the companies are thinking like, okay, well, Nexus Mod has already decided to go against the values of free speech, so this is the opportunity to start moving against it. Because I want to point out, most developers don't like mods because they view mods as cutting into their profit margins, ridiculous though it may be. But that is how developers view it. They think to themselves like, okay, well, we could have made that. Like, we could have made that stupid little piece of skin or that dumbass horse armor and charged you $5 for it. And now somebody else is doing it better than them for free, and they view that as a danger to them.
Yeah, so basically the way it affects them, for instance, like Capcom, it's got Street Fighter. And one of the way they monetize it is by releasing ridiculously overpriced skins.
Yes.
And yeah, like basically what is the skin? It's like, it's something that you see on your PC. Theoretically, the other person sees it as well, but, you know, like, your enjoyment of the game doesn't change if the other person sees it or not. In fact, the new Capcom 6, are you, like, aware of how fighting games work? Like, even a little bit?
I know the basic of it, yes.
Okay. So you got stages, right? Like the background stage. And the background stage can be, you know, like a town, a city, a cave, or whatever. Okay. They made it so that 2 players can play on different stages, and it's like what you see on your PC that matters. So, like, for example, if I were to play a fighting game with you, and my stage is a forest, and your stage is a city, like, it both work. Like, you don't have to pick the stage anymore for both players. Like, both players can pick and choose. So where am I going with this? They realize that it really doesn't matter if the mod is online or offline. The idea is that, yeah, like, as long as the person sees it on their computer, it's fine. It's kind of like Dota, right? Like, imagine buying a Dota skin and only you see it, no one else sees it. But, like, at the end of the day, who cares? Like, your enjoyment of the game is what's on your screen. And if you see the mod installed, if you see that custom for your hero, then you're happy, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they're basically saying, why would people pay for our expensive costumes when they can just download mods that are better than what we're making?
Yeah. And that has always been the problem. Like, that has been the problem from the very beginning. That's why the Total War series completely murdered its own mod-making tools with the introduction of the new engine. Like, that wasn't an accident. They didn't just whoopsie forget out the old mod-making stuff. It was because, well, if we release Empire Total War, there'll be a Napoleon mod 6 months later, and we'd like to sell you that. And that is essentially what this is. Like, I don't believe for a second that Capcom is worried about this being offensive to public's orders and morals, considering that Capcom is, as you kind of point out, already selling some rather spicy visual appearances themselves.
Yes. The thing with the Capcom is that they're trying to please everyone. So, like, they will have a character like Marissa, which is body type B, let's put it like this. And they also have a character like Cammy. And if you play their single player in Street Fighter, they have, like, a lot of LGBT-like characters, let's put it. Like in the very beginning, there's this black gentleman with a female voice that speaks with a lisp and is dressed in purple. So like, they're really trying to cater to everybody.
To monetize everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, like, Capcom is, in many ways, one of those old-school greedy companies, which is, in a way, almost kind of good. Because at least they haven't gone full crazy any one direction, more or less. They're trying to straddle the divide. And this entire argument they're making here, too, you can very much so tell that they're they're trying to pitch this in a way that might sound reasonable if you don't dig into it. When they're saying like mods are, they're kind of like cheat codes because they like change the rules of the game, and like, yeah, that's theoretically correct, but it also really doesn't goddamn matter when you are playing a single-player game. When you're playing Resident Evil, I don't care if somebody mods out all of the goddamn enemies, for that sake. Like, you can call it cheating all you want, and it changes the intended gameplay experience, and I don't give a fuck.
Like this, right? Like, why is cheating bad? Cheating is bad when you do it in multiplayer. Because you want everyone to have the same, play base in order to compete. So I don't like it if I play Counter-Strike and someone uses a map hack. But if somebody uses Dirty Little Helper on their Diablo 2 character and they have like this trainer, which gives the max level, and they put whatever gear they want, and it's like single player, like who fucking cares, right? Like let that person play the game the way they want to.
Yeah, cheating is only bad if it affects other people.
Yeah, literally. Because if it's a single player game and you're cheating, then who cares? It's your game, like the sanctity of your own bedroom shit.
Well, there's also the thing, though, because this is the frequently repeated joke, isn't it? Back in the day, you unlocked big head mode by typing in a cheat code. These days, you unlock big head mode by typing in your credit card number.
That is actually really hilarious when you put it like that.
But I don't think this is going to go anywhere. Like, Capcom doesn't have the moral authority to do anything like this. And if they try, they're going to get shouted down. Like, mods are one of the last relatively resistant bastions in gaming. To the point where, Nexus mod can do their stuff, and they will do their stuff. But they're not going to change anything major yet. We're not going to have, like, another round of Bethesda trying to outlaw mods yet. Although that will happen eventually, by the way. Like, there will be at some point a system where there will be paid mods. It's going to happen. It's practically inevitable. And it's probably going to be with Elder Scrolls 6, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to try another.
All those DLC, though. I mean, aren't they already, is my point?
Well, see, the difference is more in the idea of it. See, Valve with Dota has actually done a fantastic job with this. So in Dota, anyone can upload a skin to the game, and they'll charge you like cents for it, or for the like super good ones with like animations and all kinds of shit, they'll charge you a couple of dollars, and anyone can do it, and the creator gets a cut of the profit. That's actually an excellent system, because, again, like you said, nobody gives a shit what the skin is. The only rule says it has to be recognizably that character, so that you can't make, like, one character look like a completely different character or something. And that is an excellent way to make sure that the mod creator gets a slice of the pie as well. But what, of course, Bethesda tried to do was essentially create employees out of the modders, where they were like, oh no, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to sign up to our website, and we're going to have to quality check you, and we're going to have to go through your social media profile, and etc. And you'll essentially become an unpaid employee of Bethesda Softworks.
What's even worse is what Blizzard tried to do. If you actually looked at Warcraft 3 Refucked, they were saying that any mod you create belongs to Blizzard.
Ah, yes. I remember that. That was because they are still, to this day, rather butthurt about the fact that Dota doesn't belong to them. They went through a whole legal lawsuit over that, and they lost.
Yes.
So basically, they don't want to let the next Defense of the Ancients slip them by, whilst completely also forgetting, mind you, that the only reason why Dota was created was because of the incredible freedom of that modding system. Like, Dota could never be created today in, Warcraft 3 Reforged. It couldn't happen.
I mean, not with the things that they're proposing, right? Like the TOS that they're having. But what's interesting is that there are, like, I'm creating a game. Not going to go into it. But if you look at Steam's policy, there are so many things that you're not allowed. Like, for example, hate speech and other ambiguous stuff, like, you're not allowed to put in your game. And for someone that's investing like $40,000 or $50,000 in a game, like, you're going to make sure that you're not creating the new Manhunt, or the new GTA. Like many of the jokes that existed in previous games, you can't do now. And I assume it's the same for mods to a certain extent. Like making a mod is expensive. It's time consuming. It requires assets in some cases. So most people knowing that, okay, well, Nexus mods will ban if you do such and such, they will err on the side of the caution, and they're not just going to do that. So yeah, like you will not see mods that have been done in the past being done today.
Yep. It's just yet further damaging to the creative ecosystem of it. Like, unironically, people created people created the incredible things they did because they were free to do so. And now that they can't, well, they're not going to. Simple as.
Yes.
But yeah, the whole Capcom thing is dumb. I hope it doesn't go anywhere, and I hope it dies a horrible screaming death as quickly as possible. And I think it will, because everyone's just mocking the shit out of it, because it's just a bad idea.
I really hate the word creative ecosystem. It just triggers me. YouTube uses it a lot, and I think that's why.
Oh, do they now? Creative ecosystem. See,
yes.
It's a nice catch-all term, I think.
Oh god, I know, it's a good word. Like I know what it means, but it's kind of like the word problematic in my ear. You know, it's like
it's been tainted by association.
Yes, it's a good way of putting it.
Alright, before we move on then, Prison Warrior 1 donates 20 Norwegian kroners, thank you, to say, hey Arch, any news on when we can expect an anime gacha waifu stream with you, RG, and Kisha? Also, you should check out the manga Deathtopia and Cage of Eden, the author Yamada Yoshinobu. As a fellow snow monkey, I assume you're sunburned after your trip. Actually, no, I managed to stay remarkably unsunburned, because I was diligent in rubbing myself up with sunblock nicely. SMS Scott Tank says, comic is finally ready to start being made. I've got promo material done. Search Mythos of Sato Valley on Indiegogo. I'd be grateful if you people could check it out. Discussions are open and comments are on the extra info page. Mythos of Sato Valley. Okay, sure. Well, let's give that a quick check. Why not? If it allows me to search properly, that is. Indiegogo. God, see, this is one of the retarded things. There are so many ways to do crowdfunding now, so many ways to create incredible stuff.
I have lost.
And yet there's also so many ways to absolutely crush creativity. It's an interesting situation. Let's see. I'm presuming it is this one right here. I'm presuming. It looks correct. So there's a little Indiegogo in case anyone is interested in a comic book series set in an urban fantasy version of 80s America. Zonta says that Gundam is the story of the Star Wars sequel should have been. The Imperials will never get their war in the pocket story we all want. Sieg Zion. I think... Didn't they announce an anime adaptation of that recently? I think they did. War in the Pocket, the Gundam series.
I have no idea.
I think they did. They're doing a manga of it now, I know that.
Is it good?
Haven't read it. I'm saving it till it's done. Dethan says, Joe Rogan with Elon proves Dan wrong. I haven't seen that interview yet. It's the Joe Rogan interviews. They're cool, but they're very long. Have you seen it, Vee?
Just clips of it.
They
did talk about some interesting stuff. They talked about George Soros hating humanity. I think like that one went viral.
Dethan also says, "Fuck YouTube." It was meant to say Dev. Dev is proven wrong every day. It's just a state of being for Dev. Split Second Magician says, this is why we need to go back to distributing mods through torrents. Once it's out there, it's never going away. Possibly. See, like
that's not a problem. I will tell you why. Like, you won't get something else besides Nexus mods, because it's like, okay, well, why don't modders upload in other parts? And there are other websites like base mods. But the problem is, like, when you're a modder, you invest a lot of time and money into making the mod. Like, for example, the assets, right? Like, if you have an art, the rigging, like all of this.
I have lost.
And you want to get your money back. Potentially, you want to make a profit and you want to make fame for yourself, right? So you're going to put the mods where the most amount of people are. Like if you upload your mod someplace where no one knows about it and no one plays it, then is it worth the effort in making the mod? And many modders are saying no, it's not.
Yes.
So like yeah, you could have like torrents with mods, like that's fine. You know, you can like I mean even now you don't even need to do that. You put it on base mods or some other website, but like no one is going to download it.
It's the same issue. Why everyone tries to become a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer rather than a Rumbler. It is simply the larger platform.
Apparently, Rumble is becoming a little bit bigger than it used to be.
Yeah, Rumble and Kick both are doing fairly well, primarily because they are both feeding off the slowly decaying corpse of Twitch, which is not doing very well.
Oh, they're begging. It's like, creators, come back. But like, unironically, you know, we talk about YouTube and how bad it is with censorship, but like, it is an angel compared to Twitch. Like, Arch, right now, if you were on Twitch, you would have to monitor your chat.
Yep.
Like, if yeah, like literally, if someone in your chat right now is typing the N-word, you would get your channel banned. So on Twitch, you need to actually pay people. I mean, imagine like your situation is the worst because you don't have like just few subscribers that can watch the chat and read it yourself, but you have like a large number where the stream isn't that profitable to justify like hiring moderators. So you would be in a situation where you need to police the chat nonstop and pay people to do it.
Yeah. And of course, that's been the thing for a long time. There's people who have special privileges on Twitch who gets away with it, and others who do not. And the fact that they're now offering up clemency to a handful of streamers who have been caught saying the naughty words on the internet is very
I have
indicative of how much their power has waned. There was the recent thing as well, which we shan't go into, where a bunch of YouTubers were very close to execution, and yet YouTube elected to not pull the final trigger, which I find, again, indicative of a bit of a change, at least.
No, I think it's also the fact that this is like apples and oranges, because on YouTube it's like stay in line, and they also don't want to create a tidal wave, right? They don't want to get everyone to like the Suzy Lou situation, you know, where they started banning a couple of creators that criticized her, but like it only got everyone to criticize her. I think it was the same with Actman and a couple of other situations. So like YouTube is like, okay, well, what if we just like get them really close to getting them banned, but we don't ban them, and then like no one talks about it? And I think like this seems to be working as an approach.
It's a very effective tactic, honestly, because on the one hand, it sends a very stern warning to anyone talking about it, and the people who received the strikes in particular. Like, there's some serious fear in that. And at the same time, people receiving strikes, you know, that's not that interesting to talk about. There's no moral outrage there necessarily, but there's plenty of fear, isn't it?
Yeah, they didn't strike the actual video where they talked about it. No. They just audited their channel. And, oh, you used the joke. Oh, you used the metaphor.
Yep.
It was like that.
Yeah, no, YouTube is getting cleverer in its abusive strategies.
I have lost. Shit.
Maranga2 says, just a thought, compromise with Sargon for the cantrips. After the first cast, roll the d20 on a 1, you get a minor chaos mishap a la Warhammer Fantasy RPG. I'm just hoping that Sargon forgets about his problem with cantrips, because, like, okay, my entire characters have been built around using cantrips as an offensive tool, because it's shit at everything else. So Sargon then going like, I'm gonna take this away.
Like, hold on, like what is this problem with cantrips? What is this problem with cantrips? Okay, so like a sorcerer got like a cantrip that does 1d8 at early levels. And it's true, like at early levels it's powerful. But then you have a fighter which gets 2 attacks, I think like at level 4 or 5. He's going to out damage, you know, your shitty cantrips. And even there are like fighters, if you build them like a 2-handed weapon fighter. He's got double attack, he's got additional feats. he's going to do more damage than even a sorcerer that manages to cast like a fireball or whatever.
Sure, but we'll see if we can convince Sagaruni of this. So
But I
Lit
don't
says,
think it
please
needs
bring
convincing, like what?
Raging Golden
Is
Eagle
he-
and Kiddish to the show. We might be able to do that. Yeah. The two of them together. That might be interesting.
Assuming we meet her conditions.
Little Dev making enemies as usual.
Do you know that he actually spent time to explain me that he is not a drama magnet?
He does that. It's
Yeah, like he actually, like he literally just spends time out of his day. It's like, V, I am not a drama magnet, and I'm like, okay, Dev, present your case, and then my entire screen gets flooded with a wall of text that could keep immigrants out if I were to put it in Texas.
Raining Tennis says, V, shill the R word. Also, Arch, where is Red Woman? Red Woman? Waiting for V to interject what Red Woman means.
I do not know what Red Woman means.
Hmm.
But what I do want to show, and I think I can do this, I am looking for a rigger. I need to be careful so that the algorithm doesn't, right? Rigger, someone that rigs live 2D animations. If you have that skill, contact me. I will pay you.
That is an unfortunate name, yes. We're going to have to come up with a new one.
I did not make the name, but it's someone that rigs animations. And
Sentinel
you can
Rex says, Joe Rogan just says some average stoner bullshit and people think it's profound shit. Why he is seen as an authority on anything is beyond me. He is milquetoast. Is he? I haven't seen a lot of Joe Rogan.
I can't watch things that are like 5 or 6 hours in length.
Yeah, that's a bit of the problem too, because you've got stuff to do.
Yes, like despite what people think that content creators have a lot of time, which we do, 5 or 6 hours is too much. Like, we need to make our videos, we need to make our stuff.
One must put in
Heresy's
work
the question.
and effort in
Fire
all
is
of these
the
terrible
answer.
things.
When people say get a real job, they're basically trying to tell you to become a wagey, like be a wage slave. But like, just because you're a freelancer doesn't mean it's not real work.
And
Editing is real work.
John McCallum says, you may have some pocket change now. You may entertain me. But for real, how was your trip? It was pretty nice.
Where'd you go?
Spain.
What'd you do?
Sat on my ass.
And it was nice.
Yeah.
Did you go to Portugal?
No.
I heard content creators get beat up in Portugal.
That's good.
I'm glad you didn't go to Portugal.
I didn't go to Portugal.
Good.
Actually, content creators. There's a good little opportunity to switch on over to the smallest and in many ways the dumbest topic of today. See, did you see the what is his goddamn name? The qXc drama thing?
qXc is my favorite VTuber.
Ah, that's right. The whole. I've learned things about this person since I looked into this. Because okay, in case you're unaware, this was making the rounds on Twitter the other day. So some random person by the name of Noodle takes a picture of one of his live streams because he's a streamer. He's a big streamer. In fact, I think he's one of the largest streamers out there. And is it just me, or does the title of the largest streamer switch hands like every week at this point?
Based on popularity, Arch.
Yeah, because I think it was Ninja a week ago, and that was like I Show Speed or something.
No,
like
that
2
was
weeks
years ago. No, that was years ago.
Ah, God,
Yeah.
I can't keep up
You
this
know
shit.
what happened? Like okay, so I think he got popular by playing a game, might be Fortnite,
Heresy's
I don't
the
know.
question.
Then he
Fire is
switched
the answer.
the game and he stopped
Ah.
being popular. Yeah, and there's also news that he was trying to make a platform with Dr. Disrespect, but I don't know if that got debunked or not.
So, yeah,
And
I remember that. I thought it was a cool idea, because, you know, at least if streamers made a platform, they'd have an idea of what streamers would want from a platform, I guess, you know? But oh well.
Someone in the chat hurt my feelings, Arch. They said that we're not doing real work with content creation.
See, this is real work. I'm about to commit to emotional and labor or something here. Yes.
No, it's not. It's not. Like, unless you wake up and like, look, if you go to a studio and you do exactly the same shit we're doing, but you work for Vice magazine, that is real work.
Well,
But if
actually,
you do what Vice magazine does from your house, that's not real work, Arch.
that's part of the
I have
interesting
lost
point here. So,
shit.
Noodle posts a reaction to some YouTube clip of this guy watching the Gaza bombings and reacting to it. Because immediately, my knee-jerk reaction to this is, yeah, that's pretty scummy. Like, he's sitting there in what appears
No,
to be his
I
pajamas or something.
Yeah, but like I was saying, okay, so the first time this was shown to me, and I may get a little bit of a hate audience by saying it, I was like, how is this different than CNN?
Oh, yeah, no, that was actually my
Like, how is it
eventual
different?
reaction,
No,
too.
seriously, like that is, and I was also pointing it out, like, if you see a dying child in front of your house, and you film it as a news thing, right? Like, you're getting your camera and you're documenting it. It's like, I just went out of my house and there's this dying kid over here. Like, I wonder what happened. I'm going to call the cops. If you upload this on YouTube, your channel gets terminated. But
Well,
if there's dead kids in Syria and you're CNN and you're filming that, that gets to be online.
your channel gets terminated unless you're big enough, as we have seen demonstrated.
But you gotta be pretty fucking big to show that child on YouTube.
You do. There's a relative scale involved. But isn't it like, okay, see, I get it. I immediately get the knee-jerk reaction to this. I totally do. Because it's a dude sitting there in his fucking PJs, like, gaping at the screen as a few 100 pounds of live ordnance annihilate a city block. It's like, yeah. It's not very tasteful, in my opinion. Maybe, perhaps...
It's also the thing, like, it's also the thing that the reactions are fake. Like if you watch the news with 5 of your buddies, right? And let's say something blows up. how
his
many people go
reactions
like,
are fake.
"Whoa."
His entire job is being a reaction. Of course his reactions are fake. Let's not even fucking consider that part of it. And... yeah, no, perhaps I would actually kind of like it if there was some sort of a baseline standard. Perhaps reaction channels don't get to weigh in on warfare unless they have some baseline understanding of it. I can sympathize with that, but at the same time, this is exactly the same as the media. Like, I took a screenshot, which I put in the link channel here, from a Norwegian news media. Store, right? And it's right at the top of the page. There's the chick reacting to it. You've got Gaza in the background. There's direct, watch now, the war unfolds. Click, click, click. There really is no difference between what he did and what the mainstream news media is doing right now. And has been doing, I'd like to point out, for well over a year with Ukraine too.
And I haven't, like, depends on the media in what country, I suppose. Because, like, the one in Romania seems a little bit more professional, except that they had, like, this thing. It was absolutely hilarious. There was this news reporter, and she's hitting the ground as bombs, you know, like, she's claiming they're going off, and she's, like, shaking. And next to her are people skating, and people just walking.
Well, that's part of the performance, isn't it? It's like when you see the BBC journalist standing there, like 10 kilometers away from Gaza, wearing a bulletproof vest and a helmet. You're like, okay, lady, if something fired from Gaza can hit you at this range, your fucking vest ain't gonna save you.
It is true.
But it's performative. That's what it is. That is all it is. And you mentioned professionalism, right? That's an interesting thing. Like, how do we define this? At what level of professionalism can you talk about the dead children? To use your
If you
your
work
analogy.
for a corporation and you wear a suit.
See, that's the thing. If you wear a suit, that ends up being the actual definition, doesn't it? If you wear a suit, it's okay.
Yeah, literally. You need a suit, you need a table, and you need a prompter.
Yes, and
And a
preferably
poker
something
face.
behind you with like a moving image on it.
And robotic, lifeless human emotions.
Yes. It's like Hamas officials are reporting that 9,000 civilians are dead. We're just going to take this apocalyptic number at face value. Granted, it would mean that Israel has bombed Gaza harder than the fucking Allies bombed Dresden, but details the fucking tales. And so on.
Is it though? Like, did they bomb it harder than the Allies bombed us? I think they did, didn't they?
Oh, not even remotely close. But the Hamas's casualty numbers are separated from reality. Like, they're claiming, I think, 9 or 10,000 dead now, which that'd be well done by Israel's side. They would really have to put in an effort to even get close to that.
How is that? Like, every single time there's a conflict in the Middle East, there's pictures of children. Like, every single time. Everywhere else in the world, when there's a conflict, like even in Ukraine, you rarely get like pictures of children. But like in the Middle East, my fucking god, it's almost like Obama can't drone strike something without like 10 kids popping up in the news. Did you notice that?
Well, again, because that part too is performative. When the news media go in there, they're looking for the exact same thing as XQC or qXc or whatever his name is. They're looking for something flashy, something to draw the eye. That's why you always see the classic shot of the mother holding the child and screaming, to the point where this is now being...
I'm willing to bet that if you target like the most military objective possibly you can find in the area, there will be like a mother with a child next to it. Like it's...
Yes. In all due likelihood. And again, just to put this into perspective, okay? The Dresden bombing, in case people are unaware, one of probably the largest single war crimes in World War II history. The firebombing of Dresden. It was carried out by 800 Lancaster bombers, in addition to 500 B-17s, dropping hundreds, thousands of tons of ordnance. It killed like 20,000 people. If anybody thinks that Israel has been able to pound an equivalent amount of shit into Gaza, they are delusional. But...
So you're basically saying that it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's I don't believe Hamas's numbers.
I have
true.
lost. Shit.
But it leads me to another interesting thing here, because on the one hand, this is really stupid drama. On the other, I find it really interesting, because we have forgotten something. We really have. I found an interesting little tweet pointing out, if 9/11 happened in today's online cloud-chasing era, and then he's got the, like, thumbnail under there, and you fucking tell me that wouldn't happen.
I don't see it. I need to...
It's in the link channel.
Okay.
Because...
No, it wouldn't, because it would get banned.
I don't think it would. It would be up... Like, remember, there was the live stream of the shooter in, like, New Zealand or something a year ago. Like, it would be up.
Got banned immediately.
No,
it would like a live stream and then get banned, yeah.
And the thing is, isn't even the question of would it get banned? The question is, would people try to upload that video?
Oh, absolutely. Like, people will try to upload absolutely anything that gets views.
Yeah, but we have lost something there, haven't we? Because that wasn't how it used to be. Hell, even the news media.
People didn't have the technology back then. Let me put it this way. There are people who did the fire challenge, right? You know what the fire challenge is?
What is the fire challenge?
Setting yourself on fire, Arch.
Well, that's retarded. But the point is...
Yes, but there are people who
there were people who had the technology back in the day as well. Like, we've had this technology for a while now. Like, the internet or television isn't new.
No, but like back then, in order to like be on the television, you needed like those big cameras. You carried them on your shoulders. They're like bazookas and shit. Like it was difficult to carry them around. Now you have your phone. You just whoop up your phone and you can.
Yeah, sure. So you will eventually reach the lowest common denominator. But that's also kind of the issue, isn't it? Because this wasn't how it was. Like, even the most predatory of news media organizations used to, even just like 10, 20 years ago, to have some modicum of respect. You remember, like, paparazzis?
Can we play... Okay, I'll be like Joe Rogan. What's the name of the guy that plays the stuff? Johnny? Like, can you run the collapse of that blimp? What was the last blimp that flew Arch in the United States?
The Hindenburg.
Yes, can we play the? It's you can play it because it's fair use now. It's been so many years.
Yeah, but even then, they didn't go up to it and like film the fucking corpses, right?
No, I generally don't. Can you play it? Because I'm actually curious. I
have no idea where to find it on short notice.
I will find it for you. Hold on. Like it's an archive video. It's a historical thing. It's fine. It won't get you in trouble.
Yeah, because it did blow up. But the entire point is, there was a different idea of decorum where the paparazzi was viewed as the worst thing imaginable. Like, nothing could ever be worse than the paparazzi. And what did the paparazzi do? Well, he followed people around and shot film of them doing stuff. Like, that was what was considered beyond the pale.
Yeah, but now since everyone does that...
Yeah, exactly. Everyone does that. Our society has actually collapsed in and of itself almost completely in this regard. Like, we have lost any and all measure of shame and basic decency, our self-imposed behavioral rules.
They did go and film the corpses, actually. I'm looking at it now. They did do that. Why did they have a swastika on the tail of the blimp?
Well, if it has, I'm not going to show it.
It's tiny. You can't see it. You need to scroll.
I'm sure again, YouTube will care.
It's from 1937, Arch. You can look at the video if you want. If you don't want the swastika, you need to skip after the first minute.
See, I don't know exactly. It might simply just be the lowest common denominator. But even... See, you mentioned the VTuber thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that was something you reacted to, because the guy was known to abuse the tag system, marking his streams as VTuber streams, etc.
Horrible.
Why do you object to that?
Because if other people tried to do it, they would get banned.
No, God, no. This is like the oldest trick in the book, V. Like, abusing the tag system is how 90% of the big YouTubers got to be big YouTubers.
Okay, so 90% of the people that got on top are people who broke the rules and didn't get banned.
Yes, correct. Absolutely, 100%
I don't like that.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But why? Like, you're objecting to it. Why?
Because it's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's unfair and it's ridiculous. But more so, like, because unfair, nobody fucking cares about unfair. Will it get me ahead? Yes. So fucking what? And can you do it?
Yeah. I get it. No, I get it. But like,
what you're saying is... You're saying is that there should be a moral standard for us to obey. And I agree. There should be, and we've completely lost it. Like,
there's no moral standard, yeah.
Our society used to be built on certain moral standards, and it just isn't anymore. And I know this is a bit of an extrapolation from something as retarded as the qXc or whatever the fuck drama, but it really is, particularly as... The guy's response to being like, okay, you're a bit of a scumsuck for, reacting to people being bombed, was responding by basically saying, look, I have money.
Like, that is true. I mean, like, my ex-boss would be like, look, I'm CNN. People in the chat ask, why is there a swastika on the Hindenburg? You really don't know why is there a swastika on the Hindenburg Arch?
Well, because it was from that general era, wasn't it?
It was a gift from Germany, yeah. They bought it from Germany.
When did the Hindenburg fly? 1937. Yep, that was absolutely Germany's edgy, angsty teenage phase, so there would have probably been a Virgin windmill on it somewhere.
Interesting how they didn't remove it. Like the Americans, right? Like if you were to buy a Chinese blimp now, and it's got like the China
It was 1937. Logo. Hitler was the goddamn Prince Savior at the time. Churchill had speeches about how he hoped that Britain would receive a man like Hitler in his darkest hour. The Nazis were goddamn popular until they started, their whole little thing.
No, but like my favorite part is that...
Okay, let me put it like this. No, V. I'll put this in terms you'll understand. The swastika was the rainbow flag of the 1930s.
Did corporations use it?
Yes.
That's interesting. I generally didn't know that.
It was popular. It was very popular.
I know that in the UK, there was a football player who got in trouble because he didn't do the Nazi salute.
There probably
like a
was.
British football player. Yeah. Like there's videos of it. Like it came up during the BLM thing where like some person refused to kneel for the flag and got into a controversy, right? Because everyone was kneeling and she didn't. And people went back and found like another historical photo where everyone was doing the Nazi salute, but one person wasn't. And it got into the same controversy because it's like, well, why don't you respect Germany, basically?
Yep.
Don't you think Germany is our greatest ally?
Well, it has to do with the moral fabric of everything, right? What is and isn't valued at any given point in time. Because the interesting thing, once more, about the XQC thing, we'll wrap this up soon, because it is pointless drama in so many ways.
I have lost.
But he does actually have strong convictions on some things. For example, he says he'll never make an OnlyFans because he views it as romantically baiting people. Like, this guy, who is more than happy to sit there gaping at bombs falling on Gaza, is like, yeah, no, if you're an OnlyFans person, you are actively victimizing young men. You are actively going after the most vulnerable. I find that fascinating.
It is. Though, like, I would look at the way we are behaving, and I would apply it, back to the people that you're praising for having morality, and I would say, like, if they had our technology, would they still have their morality? And this is why I went for the Hindenburg thing. Because you were like, oh, well, if there was a tragedy, that people would film it now. And then I look at the Hindenburg thing, which just happened to be in the area where a newscast group was, and they did literally the same thing that you are saying. They sensationalized it, they filmed it, they went there, they filmed the corpses. Like, they did literally everything that we would do today, except that back then, no one besides a very few people had access to cameras. So, like, if everyone had their phones, then you would get, like, more footage of the Hindenburg.
I'm trying to see through the footage now. I don't see any corpses, but that might just be me.
Hold on.
And it's also, I think the Hindenburg is a bit different, too, because it was reported with tremendous solemnity. Like, it was a catastrophe. It was a disaster. It was an unbelievable tragedy.
Look at 4 minutes. Okay, don't play it on the screen, but play the volume. And you can hear the reporting. 4 minutes and 7 seconds. They're dragging the corpses from the wreckage and they're looking. But to be fair, there aren't that many corpses because, I mean...
Those aren't corpses, V. Those are fucking debris. Those are... Goddamn.
Are they? I mean, I see a human hand there, but okay. It's kind of hard to tell because it's black and white. Anyway, so, yeah.
But it's not placed in that context anymore. Like, maybe I'm romanticizing the lost age, like you're kind of pointing out too, perhaps. But God, I would like for there to be some base level of decorum still. Some fucking floor to the debate, you know? Some thing that you are viewed as a little bit of a scumsuck if you decide to go beneath. But when the only difference between XQC and the newscaster is literally that one's wearing a suit and the other isn't, one does begin to wonder if there ever was a floor to the first place.
Do you think we would still have blimps today if that one didn't blow up?
No, because they're stupidly slow.
Yeah, but it's not for travel. It's more like...
It's absolutely for travel.
No. It's more like a cruise. You know, like
it's,
a cruise
it's
ship
absolutely for travel. It was compatible speed to the aircraft of the time.
No, but like my point is, you go up there, you get to see the sights, and you have a restaurant, and you can move around and buy stuff. I mean, there would certainly be like an industry built around that.
I still don't think so. For the simple reason that, again, it's not as effective as you think it is. Like, we have blimps today, but they're not as large as you think. Like, the Hindenburg's dining room was probably only 10 meters or something. And then you had some chairs off by the side or something, and then some cafeteria stuff. It wasn't massive, and the blimp was way bigger than the interior, because you need a lot of buoyancy to keep the thing in the air.
Yeah. Like... How slow were they? Like if you wanted to travel from like one city to another, like instead of taking the bus, you take the blimp.
It'd be way more expensive, but it would probably be faster than a bus, I'd imagine, simply just because it's, you know, a straight line.
Yeah. I think it would work. I definitely think like they would still be popular.
Actually, then, let me see here.
What if you put some rockets on it?
No, because air resistance.
Mm.
Jazuki Taizago, I
40
think,
knots apparently is their speed.
says, "Hail the mods and modders, long live modding. Quick reminder, Final Fantasy Roman numerals started smashing mods. Modders and mod users, it has become fairly new bad thing. It's become fairly new bad thing." Yeah, well, again, it's been a thing that companies have done for a very long time now. Again, this started back with like Empire Total War and like Oblivion, etc. It's not new that companies are trying to eradicate modders. It's just a question of how effective they are at it. Because getting rid of mods is very difficult without doing serious damage to your game as well. That's the problem. It's kind of we can actually, there's a bit of an interesting side thing actually. We can actually compare it to what YouTube is trying to do right now with ad blockers, because YouTube they announced, I think, just the other day actually, that they will be rolling out the ad blocking thing universally very soon. So everyone will be getting it. It's no longer going to be in the trial or testing phase. Everyone's going to get it.
From my perspective, I never used the ad blocker. Like, there were a lot of people watching my live stream or my videos like, "Vee, use ad blocker." I never used this, so I guess this doesn't affect me.
Well, I think it does affect you, because according to YouTube's own numbers, ad blocker was responsible for like 41% of their ads being denied. And if we take that number to be correct, which honestly I think it sounds low rather than anything, that means that 41% of YouTube's revenue was being blocked by ads. If we then extrapolate that, that means that you could potentially be earning 41% more, presuming, a perfect conversion rate, which is not going to happen, but still.
Yeah, I don't think it's like that, and I'll tell you why. So first off, the way ads work, right? Like, you're a company, and let's say you pay $1,000 worth of ads, and once those ads are displayed, you buy another 1,000, right? So the question is, like, were all the ads being displayed, or there were like a lot of ads in the pipeline that wouldn't go up because of ad blocker, if that makes sense? And secondly, how are the ads being, exactly how you said it, like the transition rate? Like, what if other channels get to show more ads now because people don't have ad blockers? So, like, your channel gets less ads because of your topic, of your niche.
Unlikely. The thing is, there is such a hilariously massive demand for ads to be delivered that I don't think there is even a theoretical situation in which we would be running out of ads.
It's not that you're running out. It's like, is there enough content? Like, if there's more videos than there are ads, there will be ads without video. There will be videos without ads.
Yeah, but there's not gonna be. Like, the demand for ads is unfathomably high.
Maybe then. I don't know. Like, I'll have to see. The thing that YouTube should consider, though, and this is what worries me, because like you just pointed out, like, how much money you're making and stuff. But think about it this way, right? Like, there were people that wouldn't have used that blocker, but now they may try because of principle. It's like, oh, well, you push the culture to the point where, like, now it's fun to try to use the next blocker that may actually work. So like, encouraging people that normally wouldn't have done it to do it now.
Maybe, but the thing is, that requires effort. And what piracy, for example, demonstrated was that people use ad blockers or they use piracy when the other alternative is either too expensive or too annoying. The vast majority of people will simply pay the $5 or the, what was it, $10, $13 for YouTube Red or something?
Yeah. YouTube Red, I think.
Yeah, because it's simply easier than keeping up with the arms race. Because one of the immediate responses too was that YouTube's plan backfires. People are installing better ad blockers, and yeah, of course, like, this is the race that's going to be on now. YouTube is going to change its way of delivering videos, and then the ad blockers are going to get around that, and then YouTube is going to change it again, and this is just how it's going to keep going now. Until eventually, I imagine, once YouTube has managed to exhaust people enough on the topic, they'll probably start going after the ad blocker companies themselves by saying, like, okay, you're in violation of our terms of service, you're damaging our business, thus we can sue you and drag you to court. And the ad blocker companies will then be like, okay, do we have $5 million to fight this with? If not, the ad blockers will simply disappear.
It is a possibility, yes.
See, because on the one hand, it is way easier for the ad blocker to update, to fix whatever YouTube tried to do, than it is for YouTube to constantly come up with new ways to deliver you videos without them getting ad blocked. But this is going to be a war that YouTube will win eventually if the desire to win the war is high enough. Simply because the ad block company is fucking tiny and YouTube is goddamn gargantuan.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
It is actually quite interesting to see what's going to happen with it, because it will change the online sphere quite significantly. Like, if YouTube starts earning, again, 41% more money, the conversion rate is going to be very different than that, and creators are going to start earning 41% more money, it'll be a lot more viable to be a content creator again. And even then, we are already in an era where it's a lot easier to be a content creator. Like the previous generation, quote-unquote, like the Total Biscuits, etc. They needed to get a lot more views to get equivalent pay to us now. Like, I think Total Biscuit, who was getting like 200,000 views a video, was earning around about the same as I am now on the Lore channel, simply because there's way more ads, there's way more demands for ads, and YouTube has become a far more successful platform, which in turn means that a lot more companies want to put ads on it.
Maybe? Like, how do you know how much he was earning?
He used to talk about it on live streams back in the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting. The thing is, like, it's turning into cable, I guess.
Yes.
Like, even though I'm earning more money, I'm also, not just producing content, I'm watching content. And, like, up until now, so I've never used an ad blocker, as I mentioned. And it's like, okay, well, a 5-second skippable ad, whatever the fuck. Yeah. But now it's like it's like a 30-second unskippable ad and another 30-second unskippable ad. And every single time you want to watch a new video, it's like they keep popping up, and it's so fucking annoying.
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, your fear is that there won't be enough ads. But seeing as YouTube is introducing automatically inserted ads into live streams, where the most conservative option is 1 per half hour, and the most aggressive, I think, was 1 every 2 minutes. I feel as if YouTube thinks that there's
I'm genuinely, like, trying to think of a situation, because it's like, okay, so different type of content can have different type of ads, right? So, like, for instance, if you have a VTuber that's playing karaoke, they can put like an ad between every 2 songs, but like 1 ad between every 2 minutes is something that I just don't understand.
Well, again, it's a moral quandary, honestly. Like, for me, 1 ad every 30 minutes is pushing it, but it's acceptable, okay? It's 30 minutes of entertainment for a 5-second ad. Fine. I would prefer it be every hour, honestly, because that's more like my personal fairness zone, particularly as some ads are not 5 seconds long. But there's a lot of people who think, like, no, you should watch an ad like every 10 minutes, for example, because they feel like that's more fair. And I don't know, because you also mentioned it's turning into cable, and it is, and that also will, of course, be the determining factor of what is and isn't fair. Because a lot of people will say that they're not going to watch YouTube if it turns into, like, loads of ads. To which I simply say, where are you going to go? Because cable television has, like, 15 minutes of ads for 30 minutes of content.
Yeah, there's the point where it just becomes unwatchable. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yep.
Like one ad every 2 minutes. I mean, what exactly can you watch and enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like even if you have to watch a 5-minute ad, like this is mind blowing for people now. But back in the day, when we were watching cable, I think like the ads were like even 10 to 15 minutes. So like this has happened. However, you can still watch that and enjoy it, provided it's like 15 minutes every 40 minutes. You know, like 50 minutes of ads every 40 minutes. Like that was on television when I grew up.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
it is possible to like still enjoy a movie or whatever. But imagine like what you said, like one ad every 3 minutes. Like that is immersion breaking. Like there is nothing out there that you can watch and still enjoy.
I have lost.
Yep. Imagine trying to listen to music, for example. Every song
Yeah.
has a commercial break in the song, and then another one in between the next song. But that might also be YouTube's idea, though. Okay, if we annoy you so much and corner the market so much, you're going to have to pay for premium.
I guess, but at the same time, the problem that you're facing is that content creators still kind of control like what ads we get. So like no content creator is going to put the option with like one ad every 2 minutes.
Well, for now.
Oh, I know the type of video I would do it. So like let's say like there's controversy over one of your videos, and there's a lot of haters going on it, you know, to try to clip it, and then you put like ads every 2 minutes. Like I would get that.
I bet sit through this.
Yes.
I suppose. But yeah, the ad blocker wars is going to be interesting. It's going to be a pretty major change to the creator ecosystem, as you so love to call it, V.
Oh.
Anyways, I was reading Superchats for a second, and then I was sidetracked. See, this is another thing too. Like Superchats, honestly. See, one of the things with Prime, because I like the idea of YouTube Premium, but it needs to be better. You need to get like a free Super Chat, at least with Prime. Like at least one. Maybe even like a pack of like 4 or 5. Like something like that. Because, I don't know, like they need to have more, like TV shows or movies or something. Because it's just not a good deal. Like $13 you get to listen to music on YouTube for free. Okay, well, I can do that now with an ad blocker, so fuck you. I'll see. Let's see, where were we here before the damn thing skips again? Mark the same donated $20. Thank you very much. To say sorry, I can't stay. I got front row seats to weekly Free Palestine march. Last week, a black supremacist group, Seattle, Israel, yelled "Death to Palestine" at them. I forgot to bring popcorn. Ah, yes, the various little demonstrations that are going on right now is mildly fascinating, isn't it? It's like, I think a lot of people, too, on the left are starting to realize the authoritarian hellscape they've helped to put into power. As in a lot of cities, you're simply not allowed to protest in favor of Palestine anymore.
The interesting thing that I have to ask is, you remember Kanye West, right?
Yeah, roughly, briefly.
Why was Kanye West so hated on? What did people have against him? What did he upset people with?
Well, V, he had some mildly anti-Semitic notions in his head.
Correct, yes. And now when you see a university professor that says something which I can't say on your channel, but it involves a knife and encouraging people to use it on people of various religious beliefs.
Uh-huh.
And that professor was on the chair of trust and safety at that university.
And that's fine. You know, on Earth, it's an interesting juxtaposition.
Yes. And this is just like one example, because there are many people in universities that are saying things that would make Kanye blush. And it makes me wonder, do you think like they were upset with Kanye that he wasn't anti-Semitic enough? Like they set a standard of anti-Semitism that Kanye just, like if you're going to try it, at least be on the level with the far left. Otherwise, they're going to cancel you. Do you think like
No,
that?
I think they just didn't care. Because this is simply a different flavor of leftism, really. That's all it is.
I mean, it is congruent with the rest of their beliefs, if you think about it.
It is. That's why we looked at that Coping and Seething article, which was like, fighting against Israel isn't anti-colonialism because you're killing civilians. Like, you had to think about that, didn't you?
My favorite part, like, there was I think like the president of some European country, I forgot which, but he's talking with like this representative from Palestine. And he's like, did you see what the Jewish people are? Do you see what Israel is doing? Like, they're killing civilians and blah blah blah. And the president is like, yes, but you shouldn't have started it. And he's like, yeah, but like we are under occupation. Yeah, I understand. Yes. But
Yeah,
you shouldn't have started it.
Yeah, no, unironically, it's a fine argument. Like, you're alone in the woods, and there's a bear, and the bear isn't attacking you. It's just sitting there, you know?
Fire is the answer.
If you start hitting the bear with a stick, I don't care how endangered you feel by the bear, you have no right to complain when the bear mauls you. It seems to be the law of nature,
But
frankly.
literally the funniest part, because that's why the clip went viral. It's like he's like this old gentleman, and he's like struggling to speak English, and he's just like, yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. But you shouldn't have started it.
Yeah, no. It's
You shouldn't have started.
See, this is again why Hamas is leftist, because it's a normal human being. A normal male human being understands that you don't pick a fight with a guy who's larger than you. You just don't.
It's not
Harris
even
is
that.
the
Like
question. Fire is
okay.
the answer.
Well, let's take their argument and let's say, okay, so they're under occupation. Like, their argument is a little like what leftists do. They try to change the word game so that they always win, you always lose. So they're basically going to say, all right, well, because we're under occupation, and this is literally what they're saying, like, everything we do, everything is justified. Everything they do is not justified, right? So that is like, their argument. But even if that's the case, so let's take, that argument and apply it to a single case. Like, let's say there's a school bully, right? And he beats you up. Like, every day he takes your lunch money. If you try to do something, like you take a crowbar and you start whacking him in the legs or whatever,
Service
and then you go to
guarantees
prison,
citizenship.
you're not going to be able to say, well, yeah, but he was bullying me. It's like, yeah, he may have, but like what you did was unacceptable.
That's not a good comparison, because in this case, the bully victim won. I subscribe to the bigger stick philosophy. Yeah, don't antagonize whoever has the bigger stick. In this case, the bully was Hamas, and they hit the little nerdy kid, and then the nerdy kid brought out a crowbar. Don't bully the guy with the bigger stick. Simple. Prism 101 says, Arch, you should check out the game 6 Days in Fallujah. A tip, don't play it solo, because that's pretty much impossible. You need 3 or more people together to make it doable. Also, have you checked out the Starship Troopers Extermination update? I have not. And I don't have enough people in my close circle that I trust to play 5 days or 6 days in Fallujah. I watched Kib attempt to play that game, and he's far too retarded to be allowed near such video games.
What happens in 6 days in Fallujah?
You spend 6 days in Fallujah.
Why is it a difficult thing? Like, why?
Because people shoot at you. For 6 days.
In Fallujah.
In Fallujah.
Is there like 6 days in Portugal as well?
Nope.
Would be interesting. Especially if it has content creators.
Prism 101 says, Arch, did you take pictures of your trip? No. If you did, can you show us some of those pictures? No. And a question for V. For the A-10 Warthog, did the plane or the gun come first? And how much ammo do the plane carry for the main weapon?
So what was the question?
The A-10 Warthog, what came first, the gun or the aircraft?
See, logic would dictate that first you need the aircraft and then to make the gun. But in this situation, I think like someone made a cool gun, and then they were like, where do we put it? And they said, let's put it on an aircraft.
Pretty much, as the GAU came first, the Avenger Gatling Cannon, which is a pretty nice name for it.
Yeah. I managed to logically deduce the answer.
A-10's a piece of shit aircraft too, incidentally. It looks cool, and I love what it does to third world armies, but it would be utterly worthless in an actual war. That's the problem.
I love the sadistic aspect of it. It's like I love what it does to third world armies.
Yes. Like it did wonderfully against the Iraqi army, for example, in both wars.
But Arch, you're like that Prince Harry that goes, it's like, oh yeah, like here's my KDA.
I don't see why that's a problem.
Well, I mean, if you're the Prince of the United Kingdom and you're bragging about killing people, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't make life really good for the prisoners that get captured.
Yeah, that makes you a warrior prince.
Creates a little bit of animosity. Yeah, but like
Vee, they got captured.
Oh, Prince Harry?
No, the prisoners.
Prisoners, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. No,
There you
the
go.
thing with Harry is that it's not like it was even fair combat. Like he's in a helicopter and he's shooting at people on the ground that
Vee.
can't shoot back. It's not really, you know.
No fucking war between a third world nation and a fucking
I get it, but,
superpower
like-
is a fair war.
Yeah, but that's why you don't brag about it. Like
No,
imagine
you
you
do
got
brag
like
about it. Okay, war
No,
is
but
all
imagine-
about being as unfair as humanly possible.
yes, but like don't brag about it. Like again, if
No,
I have
no.
look, Arch, if I have a level 20 wizard and you
Huh?
just create a level 1 fighter and I like, okay, well let's do a PvP and I beat you up.
Yeah.
You know,
And then
Just
I
going
pull out a
around
gun
and
and I
going
shoot
like-
you in the face. And I win. That's war.
no, because we're in the internet. You can't shoot me.
Oh,
But
I
like my
can.
point is, you can't really brag about
Of course I
something
can.
that's. I mean, you can, but it like other people will judge you for it.
Like, V. I know people who build weaponized drones. And I'm just going to leave that in the air right there.
Do they brag about it?
Yeah. Of course they do.
I don't think.
They have
I
websites
think-
bragging about it. Like, look how small it is.
But it's like no, I get that, but like they're not bragging about like when their drone kills someone, do they?
Of course they do.
Oh.
What do you think Obama's entire tenure was?
They did kill a lot of people for someone that was getting the Nobel Peace Prize.
Herbert Kenumera says, Hello Arch, I have successfully fallen into the stable diffusion rabbit hole. I need help. This is absolutely amazing. Do you have any models you like? I haven't gotten enough deep enough into it to start doing model stuff. I literally just use it for thumbnails on occasion. Draxluthus says, look at summon spells in 5e, summon undead, etc. I will be a necromancer. Somehow. And Reigning Terror explains that the red woman is the communist. Ah, Dev is red. And a woman. Well, he's just gay. He's not a woman.
Do you
Reverend
think
Norse?
18 charisma is mind control, Arch?
No,
Why not?
because Sargon says it isn't.
No, but like if it's not Sargon, right? Like just take him out of the
Yeah,
equation.
still no.
We're talking like a rock star level, right? Like it's kind of like someone you really look up to comes up and asks you for a favor.
Yeah, then you roll a 1. It's just a goddamn dice game.
I mean, yeah, sure, you know, like you can be a red dragon and you roll a 1 and
Yeah.
yeah, you don't do any damage. But like,
Or the
Realistically
DM
speaking,
can simply tell you, no, V, I'm not going to let you do that.
why doesn't he say that when he tried to attack something?
Because he wants to hurt you, and he views that as a way to punish you.
I still think it's mind control, Arch, and you can't make me think otherwise.
Whatever Norse says, what is this Dev Kirishi drama? And if you won't say, where can I find it? Also, Sargon really should tell his house rules before they become vital. I'd like that. Oh, the Dev Kirishi drama is just Dev being Dev. Simple as. Dev attracts drama.
Oh
Dev
my
makes
God, you're
enemies
going-
for
you're going
everyone
to
he
get them.
encounters.
Holy shit! You're going to get him messaging you, and he's going to like fill you with a wall of text now.
Yeah, but he's going to have to explain to me how he's not a drama magnet when he started drama with everyone he comes across.
Oh, it's just like life is unfair. The like drama comes to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, Dev. Drama comes to you. You are the drama magnet.
That is the definition, yes. Should I tell about the deaf Kirsche drama?
I don't even know what the facts are there, and frankly, I don't
Me neither.
care.
I don't fucking care. But like,
Exactly.
okay, listen. I got contacted, and Kirsche explains, and it was like, again, walls of text. Like, I don't know what is it with these people. Like, how can hands type so much on a fucking keyboard without going insane? But it was like, so I know from one of my Discord mods that went into his Discord and talked to his mods, and he told me that his mod is going on various forums and talking shit about me, and they're trying to ruin my career, V. And this is what their mods are saying on this Discord, and I have log. You want to see the log? Okay, here's another wall of text. You didn't read that, V, and and I, oh fucking hell, like Jesus fucking Christ, like no.
Yes, no.
No.
See,
No.
I view this very simply, okay? 2 women I know, Devin Kirsche, are having a thing. Okay. Thereupon ends Arch's involvement.
Like,
I can be friends with both
gave,
of them.
This gave me high school flashbacks, and I informed Kirsche that I have a cock. Like my cock just mentally blocks this shit. I do not engage. I do not read. I know. Jesus.
Yep, I shall remain friendly with both parties involved. Nice and simple.
Exactly. I also need to side with Dev just because I know him for longer.
Puppetot says, I want modders to go to court and have this adjudicated in law. We are in limbo at the mercy of corpos not being pricks. It's the waiting I can't stand. Ain't gonna happen.
Fire is the answer.
The simple fact is, right now the corpos are legislating via TOS for the simple reason that they are entirely aware that nobody has the money to challenge them in court. And that's why the only way we can get around this is probably some sort of internet bill of rights, which say that TOS don't fucking matter. Because it already essentially doesn't matter, but it matters enough for the companies to be able to hit you over the head with it. That is kind of the problem. Oh, actually, so let's talk a bit on this topic, because there's an interesting little trend going on recently, which I find quite fascinating. So you didn't watch the FNAF movie, did you?
You know that it's a wholesome girl, right? Like she's the butt end of the jokes, and everyone likes it.
What?
Is that what is it?
No?
Oh, the FNAF. No, I thought you meant about the clown girl. It's from
No?
a short indie thing. Yeah, the FNAF. No, I didn't. I know that IGN doesn't like it because it's got too much lore in it.
Actually, we were going to talk about the Amazing Digital Circus in a moment as well, because it's an interesting thing.
That's
but
the one that I was thinking you're talking about, yeah.
FNAF, for the uninitiated, is Five Nights at Freddy's. It started out years and years ago as a little pop-up, jump-scary video game thing.
Heresy's the question.
And
Fire
it's
is
built
the
an
answer.
entire franchise around itself. Like, it's got like 4 or 5 games now, ass loads of spin-offs. It's ridiculously popular in a certain portion of the internet. And it recently made a movie out of it. A movie that is made solely for the intended audience, and that is all. Which is actually also why its Metascore is absolutely awful. 33. And that is because all of the film critics universally despised it. And there's a brilliant little screenshot of one of them, which I think is very, very demonstrative of why. Alonso Duralde
I have lost.
on Rotten Tomatoes says, doesn't have much to say about his underlying subject matter besides, hey, wouldn't it be weird if those musical pizza robots came to life and had sharp teeth? Like, is it political? Well, what is the message? What is the politics?
God.
There is none. There is no politics. Five Nights at Freddy's has no message. There's no life message here. There's no life story. There's no Democrats
like an
good,
anime,
Republicans bad. It is simply a movie made exclusively for the people who like Five Nights at Freddy's. That's it.
So like an anime, basically.
In essence, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like something that's successful, yeah.
Now, even then, a lot of the people are also complaining because the user reviews are far more optimistic. But I will say, Five Nights at Freddy's isn't necessarily a very good movie because it's aimed entirely at the fans of FNAF, But the problem is, if you are even like mildly in tune with the story of FNAF, then you already know the story. You already know why the robots are doing what they're doing. The big twist, you already know it. You already know who's the bad guy, etc. In fact, you can pick him out almost immediately because he's wearing a very telltale sign of it. And so it becomes just kind of a slog to get through. Unironically, in a way, the movie somewhat fails its intended audience by being too much for its intended audience.
I never thought I would hear anyone say that, but I trust you.
Well, basically the thing is, imagine that you know the story of the thing. Like, you know the story
Of Aladdin, and I watched Aladdin remake. Go on.
No, not necessarily. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of an example, which I can't really right now. It's number one in popularity, Jesus Christ. There's a story, right? And it has a big twist. Like, the entire story is the big twist. And you know the big
Star
twist.
Wars, The Old Republic.
Yeah, like, you know the big twist. Would you want to sit through 2 hours of it teasing the twist, only to reveal the exact same twist?
If they were to make Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I know that you're Revan, would I sit through 2 hours? I mean, I guess it depends, you know.
Whilst constantly the show is winking and nodding at you, like, huh?
I guess it's kind of like watching a Disney remake, unironically. Like,
Kind
you
of.
know, yeah, you kind of know where, you know, Aladdin is going to do, and you know, like, all the stories and the twists. And yet people still watch it, so yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed it because it felt like a very cozy movie, which I suppose is also a failing. FNAF is not much of a horror story at all, not even slightly. It felt like just an homage to the franchise as a whole, in my opinion, which I actually rather appreciated. And seeing as it currently is the number one most popular movie on IMDb and sold like hotcakes, I guess that meant it was a success as well.
I mean, as long as it pisses off the critics, I'm happy.
Yep. Very much so. And that's the thing. I am thinking that maybe the best way to do it is to open it up with this movie and have it be very faithful and very much so for the fans. And then, if anything, in the next one, you can tell an entirely brand new story. If they did that, I would be entirely happy, honestly. Especially as the reveal of Burn Trap, or well, he's not called Burn Trap yet, is he? The Afton guy. That was a fucking fantastic reveal. Like, that was really good.
I'm not really aware of
I know
the lore,
but trust me, it was good. It was very, very good.
I trust you.
And so this was a big triumph for indie stuff. A big triumph for indie stuff. Even as, I don't know if you've seen this, but something a bit interesting has also been happening in the mainstream. Did you see the article from Variety going on about how Marvel was dying?
Yes, the Access Media can't carry water for Disney anymore. It's so obvious that even they do not try. Like, it's...
Yes. And The Guardian is following suit as well. Like, the mainstream media, or the Access Media as you call it, they're finally they're coming to the position that we adapted 3 or 4 years ago, which I find remarkable. Like, that means essentially that the brands are no longer powerful enough. Like, they can't extort good reviews and good press on the basis of popularity anymore. Their fall from grace is so obvious now that the rats who have been carrying them along on their backs are starting to turn and licking their little filthy lips and looking at them.
I mean, it is possible that they just run out of money to pay the journalists.
Yep, entirely possible. It's very interesting. Like this is more so than anything else, in my opinion, the example of how far Marvel has fallen. When Variety decides to pen a very long article that says absolutely nothing new at all. It is literally just what every single YouTube cultural critic has been saying for the last 3-4 years, but from Variety. You know that right now, Variety is paying more attention to us than they are Disney.
It is interesting that your standard is like, LOL, you can't even pay off Variety, bro.
Yeah, no, but it's true though. Like it is a major.
I know. That's why I find it funny. Yeah,
it's a major drop in their authority, even as the indie scene is doing very well. The other one, the one I sent to you, which I presume you did watch, the Amazing Digital Circus.
I didn't watch it, didn't have time, but I know of it.
So
I know that the main character is a quirky girl, and she is the butt end of the jokes.
I'm going to assume that they're not going to copyright claim me over showing it, since it's free on YouTube, etc. I'm going to take the risk.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's up to you.
Because I also do kind of want to recommend this one a little bit, because it is a really cool little show. And it functions very much so on the idea of... how do I put it? Like, terror in a normal sense. It's like the idea that you've got a very child-friendly appearing show with very child-friendly appearing characters in a very awful situation, surrounded by very awful things. It makes the bright and cuddly and childlike very evil. And that's a really, really cool idea.
I get it. Yeah, no, I know what they're doing, yes.
There's also, of course, the fact that apparently as you, of course, posted right there, the main character, for some reason that I can't quite gather, became very, very popular in the hentai community.
Yeah, I've been told.
I don't quite get it myself, but
it's the personality. She's wholesome. You want to protect.
I don't think so. Her personality is what's going on. I'm a tard.
Yes, and you want to protect.
I don't know about that.
No, it triggers the lizard brain, Arch. It's literally, if you're a teenager, you want to protect that.
My lizard brain remains thoroughly untriggered. But what I also find interesting, though, is because this is an indie thing. They've been making cartoons for quite a while, but they've never had a success quite like this. Like, this isn't some tiny indie developer either. They've got 4 million subscribers, and their previous thing has 20, 30 million views too. So, but still, this kind of demonstrates the fact that we are seeing the rise of new entertainment slowly, very slowly, but also surely. And incidentally, new entertainment that is doing the exact same thing as the preceding ones. You know how you complained about the qXc dude misusing the tags?
Yes.
Well, I've got access to a tool that lets me see the kind of tags that people put on stuff. And, well, let's look at the Digital Circus tags. Nintendo, Fortnite, Minecraft, Mario, Super Mario Glitchy, Western Shonen, Naruto, Zelda, My Hero Academia.
Yeah, but the difference is, on Twitch, it's illegal to do that. I mean, it's against their TOS.
It's against YouTube's TOS too.
Is it?
Yes, misleading tags are not actually allowed, but it's never enforced. And this is how people get big. This is literally how people cheat the system. They use Google Trends to see what is the highest ranking tags in the roughly appropriate target audience, and then they simply fill their description with those tags. I mean, I don't even think... I think there was one tag relevant to the actual product, Glitch was tagged, and I think they tagged the name of the show. Everything else is just top of Google Trends stuff. So, on the one hand, I'm very happy to see the indie success. On the other hand, I see the game hasn't changed much. Yes. They'd be dumb not to abuse the system, says chat. And hey, yeah, I understand the
I mean,
argument.
if it's not enforced and stuff, but like, why even have the rule if you're not going to enforce it? That's my point.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree, because it ruins recommendations. It does, but
Service guarantees
again,
citizenship.
this is what you do, and this isn't a new thing. God, criminy cricket. I am old enough to remember the Markiplier drama when people found out that he was tagging all of his videos with PewDiePie, for example. This is just what people do, and YouTube doesn't enforce it in any way. So, in reality, we should all be doing this, and who knows? Maybe I'll fucking start.
I don't know if that actually matters that much. Like, if you put tags, like how much percent of the video traction is based around tags, to be honest?
The tags are 50% of your traction, so it's huge.
I never use tags on mine.
I know. Neither does Kibbs. And you both have roughly the same growth rate.
I don't fucking believe it. I do not think it's the tags.
It absolutely is tags. Like, the tags are an enormous part of a video's performance. It absolutely is, because the tags is what YouTube uses to recommend your stuff. Now, obviously, you will also have various flags on your channel as well, like political or controversial, for example, and those will be massive detriments that will modify the flags. But there's also a system that increases the weight of certain flags. So if you, for example, were tagging every video you did with Fortnite, it would actually start, what's the term? It would actually start considering your videos to be connected to Fortnite, which means that it might show up in the video recommendations of everybody else who puts Fortnite in their tags or who searches for Fortnite. Associate, that was the word I was looking for.
So I should put Arch in all of my videos, I guess.
I put you in the podcast description for this show because V has associations with your channel, which brings over your viewers and people who view your stuff.
Service guarantees
Everyone watching it
citizenship.
from my channel, I feel betrayed. I genuinely do. Like, you failed. You've fallen for the cheapest trick. A tag. A tag is what brought you here.
It did. It unironically did. And the thing is, I've got emotes. Here, V, I'll show you the emote I made of you. Look at it. It's goddamn adorable, V.
The cool emote. I like that emote. Yeah,
It's a great emote.
it's an awesome emote. I like it.
It's a great emote.
Love the emote.
But yeah, you should be using tags. You should very, very much so be using tags. And you should be abusing tags, probably, as well.
What if you get banned, Arch?
Well, you'd be the first, so.
Nice.
But I think this is very fascinating. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a very heartening thing, because we are seeing the very early days of the replacement of the Titans. Like, our childhood was like the Batmans and the Captain Americas and the Iron Mans, etc. Those were the cultural zeitgeist of their time. Eventually, those will be replaced by something. And it might be FNAF. It might be the Amazing Digital Circus. It might be something completely different. But it is beginning to happen. And you actually showed me another thing, didn't you, that I thought was rather interesting. Let me see if I can find it here. The cannibal game. The Coffin of Andy and Lele.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, we'll bring up the Steam page here. So, this was a game that would probably not have received any attention whatsoever.
It did. Like, it had good art style, and the story was interesting. It did get, like, before the controversy, I think maybe it may have made like 20 grand or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But then Twitter picked it up for the weirdest reasons as well.
Yes.
Because this is a game about, murder and cannibalism and
Demonic
torture.
summoning.
Yes, about Satanism. about the worst things you can imagine, and the thing that Twitter objected to was that at one point, the characters, who are brother and sister, the brother grabbed the sister's ass.
No, it's actually one of the secret endings that you can get, and I think like only 10% of the player base got it, and it's optional. Like all the other stuff, the cannibalism, the satanic ritual, those aren't optional. But this one is optional, and apparently they have sex, and it's off screen. Like it's not in the game; it's implied.
Hinted at.
Twitter
They
didn't
probably
like that. They like the
banged.
bear sex. Yeah, they like the bear sex in Baldur's Gate.
But
they
this
like
is
Game
a bit
of
too
Thrones.
much.
Yeah, no, they like Game of Thrones. The reason that it's a bit too much, I think, is not the incest. Like, that's the cope. Is that the characters are drawn in a heteronormative way, right? Like, the female character is an anime character, and it looks aesthetically pleasing. Like, she's got boobs and stuff. Like, take into account, like, when you see incest on screen, like, in a hentai setting. Like I, for instance, don't even have a sister. So like, to me, when I see it, I don't think like, oh, this is my sister or whatever. Like, it's just image based. Like, I can separate it from the context, if that makes any sense.
Heresy's the question.
And
Fire
there's
is
like
the
another
answer.
problem here. Like, anime characters do not look like human beings. Like, I am attracted to the anime character. Like, the way the anime character looks like is not something you will find in the real fucking world, Twitter weirdos. I don't even know how they think. Like, they see an anime character and they treat it as if it's an actual human being, but they treat human beings worse than anime characters.
What I found most amusing, though, was the creator's response, which he also linked, the cry about it.
Oh yeah, that one just made it go viral. Like, that one just made it explode.
Yes, and that is an excellent response, and a response that wouldn't really have been possible a few years ago without it probably getting taken off Steam or something ridiculous happening. It shows that it is starting to become a little bit more possible to resist again. At least in certain places, or to a certain level on certain platforms. Because Steam has never been that political either. You've usually been relatively safe on Steam. Although I will point out as well, this game is in the risk group because it has an anime art style, and it has a character that I'm sure the Twitterati will look at and go, well, that's lolly.
And again, you know, like, they will say, oh, it looks like a
Service
child.
guarantees
And I'm like,
citizenship.
does it though? Like, do we have human beings that look like that in real life with like a dot as a nose, big eyes that are bigger than the head and shit like that? Like that's my point. Actually, my animator, I'm going to say about this, you know, she's a woman, heteronormative and all that. She likes anime girls, and I ask her, it's like, are you gay? And she's like, no, because women in real life don't look like that.
Weird.
And I think like it's a good point. And the same with furries, right? Like, there's a lot of furries that I know that some of them that I knew were bisexual, and I'm like, so would you let like someone fuck you up? Yeah, they're like, no, because the actual human man looks nothing like a furry.
Weird.
It's basically like people are attracted to the art, not what the art represents, if that makes any sense.
That's
kinda
where
like,
fursuits comes into play.
Yeah, I guess it's like kind of like if you enjoy swinging a sword around in Baldur's Gate, but like in real life you wouldn't like swinging a sword because it's heavy and it looks nothing like what you can do in Baldur's Gate.
That's not true, V. Swords are fun.
Isn't it? Well, yeah, but like if you're a person that's like skimpily clad and don't like to work out, you probably wouldn't like being in actual combat.
Who knows? It shows again, though, like, this is hardly the first indie success by any stretch of the imagination. The indie success sphere has been going for quite some time at this point, but I don't know. I might just be super optimistic. I like to remain optimistic. I like to think that as Marvel and Disney burns to the ground, we are going to see other alternatives begin to rise up to the forefront. And occasionally it's going to have a little bit of sister fucking in it. And that too is fine. In fact, you know what? You know what will be the real sign of the return to normalcy? Of the real return to, like, tolerance? That's when weird fetishes become acceptable in entertainment again. When the prudes lay it off for another 5 or 6 years.
I mean, here's the funny part. I was watching movies from the 90s. There's actually one where you have like werewolf sex scene in it. But like most movies in the 90s, and this was like in cinema, you had tits out on the camera. Like there were movies that were 18 plus, slasher films especially, tits out. I mean, even Game of Thrones had tits out, right? And you also have Spartacus tits out. This was something that wasn't shocking or surprising. Nowadays, people are complaining that My Hero fucking Academia has cleavage.
Yep.
And My Hero Academia isn't even like a porn or anything.
Yep. It's the prudes. The prudes are at the heart of all of it, whether they be left-wing or right-wing. They are the true enemies, and they are the ones we must crush, kill, and destroy, so that we may achieve victory. It is the only solution. At least the Marvels look like it's going to be absolute garbage. That'll be nice. You know, another nice big fat nail in the coffin. I think also, what was it? Ahsoka as well. Where was it? There we go. Yep. Ahsoka had even worse viewership figures than Andor, which was apparently an enormous disappointment. So I'm glad to see Disney losing loads and loads of money. I'm very happy, in fact.
Oh, I watched the trailer. I saw that they were having like 6 or 7 women in the trailer, and I was like, okay, Panderverse, I'm tuning out. I saw the Panderverse. I don't need to see it again.
It was a very female TV show. Very.
Yeah, like if it was an anime, like if I see 6 or 7 women in anime, I watch it because I know Japanese people can actually write female characters. If I see 6 or 7 women in Hollywood, I'm not watching it because I know they can't make a relatable female character.
And speaking of women ruining shit, I don't know if you've seen this one, because I think it came out relatively recently. The lead designer, or senior system designer of Diablo 4, left her job 4 months before the expansion released. And apparently, the talent trees aren't done. The events aren't done. Like, half of the fucking coding isn't done, and it's just a complete and utter mess, and the rats are currently fleeing the ship. And look at that picture. Is that woman not the biggest red flag you've ever seen?
Like the new CEO of Xbox, you know, I looked at her picture and I was like, I wonder if I ever played with her some Call of Duty. Like, I wonder if she was in a multiplayer match with me, because she definitely looks the type, you know. And it's like exactly how you're putting it. It's the type of people that don't look like they play games are being placed in these positions. And what's interesting is, like, if you actually look at their resume, not in the case of the senior system designer, by the way, but in the case of like the lady from Xbox, she was on an executive board at a company, then on another executive board. Now she's the CEO of Xbox. Basically, like, as far away as humanly possible from the customer. Like, as detached as possible from the actual person that's buying the product.
Yep. And it's going to, well, Diablo 4 is already sinking. Blizzard is already sinking. Did you see as well? They announced, what was it? Here you go. 3 expansions at the same time at the whole BlizzCon thingy or whatever.
What expansions? We got Cataclysm, I think. What else?
There we go. World of Warcraft's next 3 expansions revealed all at once. Like,
that never happened before. Like, that is just bizarre.
That is just bizarre. Like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
So the first one, and it's not the Cataclysm, by the way. These are all for modern WoW, as far as I can see.
Yeah, that's very bizarre.
So it's the World Soul Saga, and then it's Midnight and the Last Titan, apparently. So they're setting up some kind of enormous story
Marvel
arc.
universe.
Yeah, kind of like an endgame thing, I guess.
So fucking bizarre, yeah.
That is just weird.
It is.
Yeah. But like, okay, one expansion, you can get excited for one expansion, right? It's like, oh my god, new content. It's like 2 expansions, like, that feels much. 3 expansions. I don't, doesn't that just kind of make it feel exhausting? It's like, oh, I've got 3 more expansions coming at me with like stories and quests and shit and grinding.
Necessarily, because you know that there's a new expansion, but it's weird that they're deciding this route.
Yeah, like obviously there's going to be a new expansion, but to me it feels mentally exhausting. It's like it feels like somebody just dumped like 10 years worth of content on top of you, and you're kind of hesitant to even begin. It's like being asked to start watching One Piece from the beginning. And even if
I get it, yeah.
Yeah, like even if you think you're pretty sure you're going to enjoy it, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
That is such a weird move from Blizzard.
I have lost.
Apparently people were complaining that went and saw BlizzCon that there weren't any games. I can't verify this, but like besides the WoW announcements, like there was nothing.
Well, I mean, what else would they be working on, I guess? Like,
yeah, but like you're paying money to see BlizzCon, right? Like other companies, it's the only most ridiculous thing that I genuinely like don't know how it lasts until 2023. World of Warcraft subscription price, like you have to pay monthly subscription to play it. Like that's just bizarre. And the second one is paying for BlizzCon. Like you're paying to see ads, literally.
well,
And you know, like back in the day, it's like, oh, you get StarCraft 2, you get Diablo 3, like you get all these game announcements and people are hyped and shit. But like now you're going to get what? Like 3 expansions, as you said it. And
it's
what
all
else?
for the same game.
Yeah, and what else?
Well, the thing is, like, back in the day, I quite kind of liked the idea of BlizzCon, right? Because it was a celebration of the fandom. And back in the early 2000s, that still made sense because the fandom still made sense. You were still a fan of a thing, and everyone felt like they were together in being a fan of the thing. Everyone just liked the thing, and you got more things for the thing you liked. Great.
Yep.
But now, you're not a fan of World of Warcraft, you're a consumer of World of Warcraft.
They made absolutely sure that this is how people interpret it, correct?
Yes. And so now, going to BlizzCon, it's just like, oh, cool. Like you said, I get to pay to go to the advertisement event.
Yes.
Because what else would they even announce? Because Blizzard hasn't made anything new since... I mean, fuck, 1997 or something? That was the last, like, non-StarCraft, Warcraft thing, like the Lost Vikings. Like, they haven't made anything that isn't either StarCraft, Warcraft, or Diablo in, like, damn near 30 years. Overwatch, I guess.
Yeah, it's just... But, I don't think people even expect that they will make something new. Though there was like this conversation that I'm going to make a video about tomorrow. You got like this guy from I think he was working on StarCraft 2, and he said that he worked for 6 months overtime to make StarCraft 2, and then that horse from World of Warcraft sold more than StarCraft 2 together.
That's not great. But it's like Blizzard has become another Disney now. Like they're functioning off nostalgic inertia. That's all. They're continuing to exist because they made StarCraft and Warcraft. And they're not making anything new. They're not crafting anything new. And when they tried, which is Overwatch, they choked it out almost immediately with Overwatch 2. Not to mention all of the balance changes as well, because they were like, oh, it's gotta be an esport. It doesn't have to be. It could just be a fun, derpy, dumb multiplayer game, but nope.
I mean, again, most people now are focused on how to make money rather than creating a product, because as counterintuitive as it sounds, like obviously everyone focuses on making money, but it used to be like you make a good product and then you make money, right?
Yeah.
Like people aren't interested in the art anymore. Like it's not games as an art form, it's games as consumerism. Like you're creating a product on an assembly line. So.
And that's what I think I found so refreshing with Five Nights at Freddy's movie, honestly, because for the first time in a very long time, I didn't feel like I was watching a product TM. I felt like I was watching a franchise, something that was made for a fan group, something that was made by a person because he liked the thing, and not simply to trick another $30 out of my wallet.
Yeah.
I think that was why it was so cozy.
Yeah. Exactly. Like right now, and it's interesting because back then, yeah, sure, you got the movie, you got the whatever Star Wars, right? But the number of toys they would sell, the number of T-shirts, like I don't see people with Marvel T-shirts anymore. Do you?
Nope.
Like everyone wears anime shit.
Well, because
sure, like there are some T-shirts out there, but like it's mostly anime.
I have lost.
You can still be a fan of anime. Anime still has that community thing. You can still be a fan instead of being a consumer. Like that really is the difference at the end of the day. If you're someone who likes Warcraft today, you're just a consumer of Warcraft. It's very difficult to be a fan.
Yeah, there's no real community of Warcraft. At least I don't see it. I don't see the memes. I don't see the the hype that used to be. I genuinely do not see where that community is. There's probably is like some community, but I don't know. Like I'm looking at Asmongold, like he's probably the biggest streamer that still has like some WoW community, and it's just that the hype isn't there.
Nope, because it's consumerism, not fan.
Yeah, it's corporate shit. It's kind of like the thing where they're saying it needs to be as unoffensive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it needs to be as sanitized as possible, as corporate as possible. And when you do that, like there's no more soul in it.
Yep. The ever ephemeral soul. Always difficult to define, but always so very noticeable when it's not there.
Oh my god, that's so good, actually.
All right, let's get through the super chats too. Outraged Deer says, will you go on / reach out to Great Book of Grudges about going on his interview show now that he's on a warpath against CA? Also ask V if the Morita Mark 1 uses cartridges or shells.
Shells.
It doesn't.
It was a trick question, wasn't it?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I know what the Morita Mark 1 is.
Right, no. Like here's my problem, right? I too have my hobbies. Like for instance, I can name you the best authors that make succubi porn on the internet, right? Like I have my hobbies. But even I have my fucking limits. How can you know all the fucking guns that have been made throughout, not only now, but like throughout history?
The Morita Mark 1 wasn't made. It's a gun from Starship Troopers.
So not only do you know the guns that have been made, are made now, are being made, but you also know the fictional guns as well.
Yeah, but the Morita Mark 1's really cool. It's big and dumb.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I believe you.
Oh god, the Godzilla shit that's coming up too. Man, I'm looking forward to that. Christ. Godzilla is like this interesting thing where you can both have the anime-esque of Japan along with the production value of the West. Man, I hope it's good. If it's shit, I'm gonna be very sad. I'm gonna be very, very sad.
I mean, usually Godzilla is like what? They focus around the humans running around while Godzilla is destroying the city, right? Like that's the formula. Like that's what you're probably going to get.
Well, that's always been the formula, even the Japanese ones. But the difference is, in the Japanese ones, the focus is always on Godzilla, even when the focus is on the humans.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that. No, you're not gonna get that. I'll tell you the movie. Like I haven't seen it. It's not out yet, but I'll tell you what it is, and then you can tell me if I was right or not. Very poor character creation, like really really poor character motivations and weak character building. And they're running around, and the focus is mostly on them as Godzilla is doing shit.
Yeah, but that can work. That's the thing. That is the story of every Godzilla movie. That is the story of Shin Gojira. But it can work, so long as you focus it on Godzilla. And you don't need to focus it on Godzilla by just looking at Godzilla. Everything that happens needs to be about him. When the humans are doing something, it needs to be, oh, how do we figure out what Godzilla is? Or how do we figure out his weakness, etc.
Yeah, that's not what you're gonna get. No. It like, go back. See the poster? That woman in the middle? Like she is the main character. Like, it will be about her.
Probably. But I still have hope that it won't be about
her. I can imagine that there's going to be like a massive building going down, and she is going to just like pull people out from the rubble by herself with one hand. Like she's just going to like lift the rubble with one hand, pull the people up, and then she's going to talk about Israel and Gaza. Like that's what the movie is going to be about.
It's going to be good, and nothing you can say can convince me otherwise.
She's going to turn around. Look, I'm telling you, like, there's going to be Godzilla using his tail to crack down a building, and then this lady is going to turn around to the camera, and she's going to be, this is what the people from Gaza are suffering from every day.
Well, screw the people from Gaza. Godzilla isn't there. He's here, with me, in my heart. Let's see, where was I? Where was I? That's a good question.
Shit.
We talked about Godzilla. We talked about the digital circus. I think you're supposed to read Super Chat.
Popatot says, I want modders to go to court. Read that one. Mandalore Jack 45 says, what is my favorite paid communist? He betrayed me today as well, as he often does, because he's a communist. Paul Dowk says, hey people, without Dev and Moldovan here, it is as if Arch doesn't want any money. Moldovan? Boog says piracy is a service problem. Gabe knew, and he was right. He was absolutely correct. Queen Nidus, it is not about who gets ad revenue, but who gets said ad revenue. Not every creator deserves to make ad revenue from my viewership, especially when the creators I follow get demonetized, but not others. Well, again, now you're entering into the how do I put it? The moralization of it. So the argument would be that the viewer should be able to determine where his ad revenue is going, right? And in that case, you use YouTube Premium, and then you just don't watch the people you don't want to get a slice of it, in essence. Because otherwise, anyone you watch and consume their ads, you get a part out of it. And if you use ad block, you can whitelist some people and blacklist others. That works as well, I suppose. And then, of course, there's the demonetization, which is, again, YouTube just going like, no, we don't like you, so you're not going to get anything. Tailian Hayabusa says, I am old enough to remember how annoying ads are online. The odd talking ads that maybe turn off my speakers. I'll stick with the ad blockers. For now, you will. For now. I swear to God, in 10 years' time, we will be sitting here again, you and I, Vee, and we're just going to be like, remember when ad blocker was a thing?
I don't, because I never used it, Arch. I genuinely did not, which is why I'm happy that this thing literally doesn't affect me.
Me and Dev will sit here then and be like, remember when ad blocker was a thing?
I will not be sitting here talking about this because I never used that block.
Murdoch Hancock says, can a door-to-door salesman sue the fence maker for a loss in sales? Probably not, but that means there's on somebody else's property. The problem with your analogy is YouTube is YouTube's property, and everything that goes on YouTube is YouTube's property. And via their terms of service, that means anything that goes on, including third-party additions to your web browser, which is mildly retarded, but that's where we are. Adoman says, here's a free super chat. Welcome back. Thank you very much, Adoman. I haven't seen you around. You've been slacking a doman. Little Dogirl. Must be around more often, Dogirl. Very important. While you hate them says, Arch for Emperor of Earth. I would do a good job with the title. I would. So on the list says, touchdown on paper unbreaded. Touchdown on paper unbreaded. I'm confused. But that's pretty much normal. Mr. Lucklestone is 500 yen to say, Arch and Sargon sound like the no fun police for D&D. If the roles check out and it's still technically legal in the rulebook, send it. No. Sometimes you have to punish your players. Sometimes you have to punish your players by allowing them to roll dice. See Sufour. Other times you've got to restrict their access to resources. See, I'm all with Sargon on this. I am. Sometimes you can't just let people go like, yes, I'm going to have 3 bolters and I'm going to strap them together into a super bolter. But Sargon gets a little bit extreme. Where it's like, I get a chain shirt. And Sargon's like, no. Why not? I'm the tank, though. No, you get leather. Yeah. My fucking chain shirt.
Service guarantee.
Raining Terror says, you put 2 women on a stream, Arch. What did you expect? That is a good point. That is a good point. Incidentally, V, we might have 2 women on stream again next week.
Heresy's the question.
Dev and another
Fire is the
VTuber.
answer.
So, prepare yourself for drama, I guess.
Which VTuber? Who's coming?
Ant Hime, or Ant Queen.
I heard about it. I think there is also drama between her and someone else.
Yes, quite a big amount actually, and this works.
Someone's mother was involved. Yeah.
Yes, no, Ant Hime appears to have been the victim of a rather large-scale and organized and very malicious cancellation campaign, which naturally puts me in their corner, presuming they've got the receipts, and they claim to do so. That sounds like it's going to be very interesting. Alex Adamson says, it is absolutely acceptable to drag about the amount of rag heads you've destroyed. Brag about, not drag about. To tell the world about all the bad things you got rid of. Yep, Prince Harry did nothing wrong. Berg says 12 games, 4 books, series, 1 movie, and merch. Lots and lots of merch. So much merch, a movie had a $20 million budget and broke $130 million opening weekend. Play FNAF. Well, there you go.
I have lost.
Berg,
shit.
You will not get me to play Five Nights at Freddy's for 50 Mexican pesos. That kind of jump scary shit, nah. You could maybe talk me into doing the new one, the 3D one, where you can actually walk about. But even then, I'm going to be charging a premium. Boog. I love the lore of Five Nights at Freddy. I do. I am a huge fan of horror game lore. I just absolutely hate horror games.
Kind of makes sense.
Also says, she's an awkward, nervous wreck plus clumsy must bone. The clown. Nervous, awkward wreck plus clumsy must bone. I don't know. I don't. PP no understand this, but if you say so. Meta Warlock doing his $10 in his first super chat as well. Thank you very much, sir. To say, at the ArchCast, uses the massive rules expansion in the Grim Hollow books. Don't need to use the setting, but lore does it improve the game and shit. Plus, there's rules for becoming and growing as a lich. I would love it if Sargon would allow us to use any books that isn't the 5e Player's Handbook. But it's probably not going to happen.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the
Water
answer.
Kvi says, would tag abuse be a necessary evil since YouTube gives an artificial boost to the establishment? That is a fine justification, sir. It absolutely is. Keith Lane says, hi, have to go to work, but always remember tacos are good. Are they? Do you like tacos, V?
Not really. I mean, I eat the taco and then I get hungry right after, and it's just not very efficient.
Yeah, I don't like tacos either. They're sloppy. There's too much things in it. Like, you shouldn't have that much things mixed together. Like, no.
A shawarma now, that is good.
I have no idea what that is, but I'll take your word for it.
Google it. Hold on, I'll show you.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Shoot Me Dead says 2023 big titty anime sister wife GF is lolly. Yes. Yes, that is literally the definition of 2023.
There you go.
What is that? That's just like a falafel or something, isn't it?
No, the falafel doesn't have meat in it.
Okay, it's a falafel with chicken in it. It doesn't look awful, but it still has too many ingredients inside of it for my liking. Like, take out of the tomatoes and the lettuce.
Yeah, in Romania we use French fries and a lot of sauce. It's like mayonnaise, a lot of mayonnaise.
I don't know about the French fry. Definitely not with sauce. You do not allow anything liquid to touch your French fries. That's
it's like that.
That's a very hard and fast rule.
No, I disagree with that rule. I mean, why is it that when you go to a McDonald's they give you sauce for the fries?
Yeah, but they give you in a
did that
different
people-
pack.
Why do people dip their fries in ice cream, Arch? Checkmate, bigot.
Because some people deserve to be put in camps. And that's the truth. Alex Adamson says, Arch played the coffin of Andy and Lele. Do it. $2 for Arch to play a scary game. You're gonna have to do better than that. I don't even know if it is scary, but it looks unnerving. I don't like unnerving things. Dorman says, the only thing I liked from BlizzCon was the beginning of Classic Plus was announced coming November 30th, shaking up the classes with low-level raids. Oh, that's kind of cool, I guess. John says, it reminds me of video game advertising from the 90s. You had men in lingerie and jokes about domestic violence for video games. Yep. We could still have jokes back in the 90s. We can't now. Real Horse Dennis says, treat fighting wholeness? Treat fighting wholeness like fighting the aliens in Terra Invicta. Develop your strategy, delay skirmishes until you're ready, then strike with overwhelming firepower. More Terra Invicta humanity first. There will be more Terra Invicta. We're going to get through Galactic Civ first, and then probably Empires, and then we'll do Terra Invicta. I'm kind of hoping...
Did they update Terra Invicta? Because last time I played, the early game was incredibly basic, and I don't think like you could even make an army to conquer another nation, and that pissed me off.
You can now.
You can?
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping for one more patch before I get back into it. We'll see. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Unlikely though, that may be.
What's the difference? Like, aren't the factions like really similar? Like the one that kills all aliens and the one that just defends the Earth?
No,
Service guarantees
really.
citizenship.
They've got different techs and they've got different approaches, and the ability to talk to the aliens is a very big game changer. I don't think they're too similar.
So like the one that kills the aliens don't talk with them, but the ones that protects the Earth can talk with the aliens.
Yes. Sroka has been a member for 10 months. Thank you very much. And he sends a bunch of little emotes. They're also cute. I like the dev one too. It looks very optimistic. Black 1917.
The faction that wants to serve the aliens and the ones that just wants to, like, one of them wants to be ruled and wants to be worshipped by the aliens.
The
Like
worship by is the neutral ones. The
Heresy's the question.
the Illuminati,
Fire is
basically.
the answer.
Yeah.
They're kind of cool, but they're probably the most bland because they're just like we say evil corporations. Derp.
No, not the no. So there's one that believes the aliens are gods and it wants to worship them, and there's
that's the
another one
servants.
that believes the aliens are too powerful and just wants to submit, like just
That's the protector.
get everyone on the Earth to, yeah.
Yeah, but those are different things.
Mm.
Black 1917 says, Hail Arch Christ, our Lord and Saviour, and Hi V.
Hello.
Obdulio says, I've got 3 Godzilla-related media coming to the... We've got, I'm assuming, got 3 Godzilla-related media coming. The Apple Plus show, Monarch, starring Kurt Russell. Godzilla -0 from Japan. That one's the one I'm looking forward to the most. And finally, Godzilla X Kong, New Empire next year. There's also a 10-minute short from Japan on YouTube, Godzilla vs. Megalon. Yep, I did see that one too. Yep, nope. Godzilla fans are having a good time ahead of them, hopefully. I'm looking forward to all of them. The Godzilla versus Kong one is probably the least interesting to me because it's just like, I never saw the charm, honestly. It's like, oh, big monkey fight big lizard. Like, wow. JD is the new gold standard and says Pacific Rim was wasted. Several more fights, don't suddenly nerf the veteran Jaegers and reduce the focus on human turmoil, just have Chad pilots. Yep, I would have preferred that too. Less drama, more monster bashing with giant robots. The real Holstein says, to be fair, calling what Israel is about to do to Gaza could be named Operation Godzilla. It would be fitting. And I would appreciate it too. Like, what are you going to name this operation? Operation Godzilla. That would see the population evacuate very quickly, because it sends a clear message in a picture. Mr. Sergeant 100 says, now the dev is gone and fucked off, hail to the bridge god and his Romanian sidekick. Let me know when the Cyber Crusade Law series is ready to go. At this rate, I'm thinking early next year. Simply because I still haven't read all of the damned books through yet. Although I'm doing a very good progress. I'm on Blood Pact now, I think. Adoman says, hashtag give Arch his chain shirt. I should be given my chain shirt. This is true.
Why didn't he give you your chain shirt though? Like, it's such a bizarre nerf.
It is. It is a bizarre nerf.
It is a bizarre nerf. He was also complaining about my 1d8 fireball. Like, it's a cantrip. Like, yeah, sure, you're doing more damage because you got like 5 HP in the beginning of the game, but after that, other classes get better shit. I don't get it. It's just weird.
Still want my chain shirt.
Yeah, it's just like such a weird nerf that makes no sense. It's like, hey, we need a tank. All right, well, don't let the tank get any armor. Why?
JD is the new gold standard also says, to this day, Sufor wonders why his greatest rat friends betrayed him. He cries himself to sleep, wondering what he did wrong. He does. Sufor did nothing wrong. Dame Blaze says, loved watching Peeper voice/play incest game. Oh, incest game.
Yeah, the Andy and Lady thing.
Yep. I'm sure there is actual incest games out there somewhere.
It is a tag on certain websites.
Why You Hatin' says, all the video game films give me hope that we may one day get a good Halo movie. Well, I don't know if I'd be that optimistic, but, I mean, you can dream, I suppose, if you absolutely must. Like, Halo. No, we're just going to get Halo Season 2 soon, and Kyle's going to have to rewatch the entirety of Season 1 first so we can fully appreciate
Heresy's
it.
the question.
Yes.
Didn't they murder Master Chief?
Well, no, it's just that he's been somewhat replaced by Pablo Schreiber. Or more correctly,
I
Pablo
love
Schreiber's
it.
nose.
You know, like there's what's more interesting than the Panderverse and the diversity hires. It's the, hey, do you want to watch Master Chief guest starring Master Chief? Like, hey, do you want to watch Indiana Jones guest starring Indiana Jones?
Watch Pablo Schreiber's nose as Master Chief. Alex Adamson says, it's not scary or unnerving in the slightest, it's just very edgy, but in a good way. Now play it. Once Chapter 3 comes out, that is. Question mark. DRT is King says, I am super chatting due to lack of dev, but I support the coffin of Andy and Layla doing well and plans to play it for Thanksgiving weekend. Kick dev. Poor dev. Mr. Sergeant 100 says, early next year, that's fine. Do your thing and do it right.
The question. Fire
I am
is the
hoping
answer.
to. And finally, the real Holtzinator says, treat fighting wokeness, I hate autocorrect. Everyone does. And yet everyone has it. And Sujan slips in at the end there saying, Invincible Season 2, Episode 1 is out. I am going to wait for all of it. I hate watching these shows one episode at a time. I can watch it all at once. That's all. Gotta watch it.
You're so spoiled. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I had to actually wait for like 6 p.m. so I can open the television, and if you missed that episode, it was gone. Like you would never catch it. Like it's
Yep.
you'd watch Stargate, right? It was like on every Friday at 7 p.m. on TV, and if you didn't see it, then that's it. That episode is gone. There's no way you can actually rewatch it.
Yep. But I don't live in that reality. I live in my reality, a better reality, a superior reality.
The reality of convenience that brews weakness and complacency.
And that's good. You just need to make up for the convenience by adding additional
Service guarantees
limitations on
citizenship.
yourself. Simple. Enforced morals to make up for the inherent softness of modern society. And Sandoom sneaks another one in there at the end thing. Space Sharks Law Video ? Maybe. At some point. Possibly. Or maybe never. It depends. Alright. I think, let me just double check to make sure. I think that has been everything for this this week's ArchCast. So, thank you all.
Without Dev, there's no argument, so.
That's true. Thank you all very much for watching and
Service
for your
guaranteed
very
Hold on,
generous
hold on.
donations.
I want to ask something. Right? So, chat. Picture this, right? You're in Dungeons and Dragons, and you make a VTube character in a medieval society. Like you get sorcery, you cast illusion magic as big as the wall itself, and you have like this big titty goth waifu, and she is doing songs and dances for people, and you make money from donations. Isn't that a fucking original concept, chat? Has anyone ever thought about doing that? There's a single person that said, you know what, I can be Gargura in fucking Dungeons and Dragons.
And then Sargon will
Kirsch.
simply tell you that everybody realized that it's a man.
I need a GM that actually knows how to have fun, I guess. I mean, I don't know. If he does that, I will be very disappointed. I will still play the campaign, but my heart will be broken. I'll be like, why does Sargon not know how to have fun?
And he will have a point, V. Because you are a man.
Okay, well, in that case, Arch, you're not a cleric. You don't actually talk to God.
He will defeat you in verbal combat.
No, because he doesn't have 18 charisma, Arch.
He does, he's God. He has 30 charisma. And Boog says, is V a cultured person that browses F95?
So what you're saying, Arch, is that at one point, if you have so much charisma, you become God.
The GM is always God. Now, V, do you peruse F95?
Yes,
There you go.
it's my job, Arch. I gotta...
There's a lot of trash on F95. There's a lot of trash on F95.
There's a lot of gems as well.
Do not join the trash, V.
There are gems on F95.
Well, that might be a discussion for another time.
Service
See,
guaranteed
someone says that
citizenship.
it would be a useless waste of magic. How is making money and fame useless? You get an army of simps, everyone recognizes who you are, everyone knows who you are, and you make money.
Because God says that none of those things happen.
But why do you assume, Arch? Like, why do you assume? Because you haven't spoke with Sargon. Like, what if he actually likes the idea?
I have known Sargon for many, many moons.
I actually know him earlier. I am the one that introduced you, Arch.
And yet, you do not understand that he is going to shit on you from a very great height over this.
So what you're saying is that he may be railroading the campaign.
You have failed to fully fathom his malice. And
But
Seth
Arch,
makes a
he
good
allowed
point.
the-
It may very well be Sargon's fun to ruin yours.
I mean, he already did when he was making you roll a dice for every single plank of wood that you were planting in order to construct your fucking island. So
And so the silver mines passed into memory.
there is absolutely no in logic of that universe where he wouldn't allow me to do what I want.
regardless, the D&D campaign will start up in a couple of weeks. And until then, oh, never mind. Patriotic Gestalt says, if you want to have fun, play some gonzo RPGs like DCC Dungeon Crawl Classic. We can't play that. Sargon doesn't know the rules to it.
You know, we could have played Fallout.
No, we could not.
Why didn't we play Fallout? Yeah, there is a Fallout RPG, Arch. Do you know that?
No, there isn't.
No, yeah, there absolutely is. And it's something that I wanted to play, but like, apparently, or not.
No, there isn't. And Logan Darklighter says, pro tip, a necromancer is simply a healer who never gives up. I too believe that bringing the dead back to life should not be viewed as a negative thing.
Fire is the
But
answer.
Sargon yet again disagrees, for he is a cantankerous old fool. But now,
I do think
finally,
that bringing the dead back to life may cause problems with the
Service
actual
guarantees
deceased family.
citizenship.
Novi.
Arch,
Simply Novi.
if your mother passed away, right, and
And I'd be happy to see my mother again, like any normal human.
Yeah, but like, I use your mother into combat. Is that normal?
Your mother has charisma 18. Why won't you see her again?
I don't think like undead. Okay.
Why
the
do you
only way
want
an
your mother
undead-
to remain dead, V?
She doesn't have charisma 18, Arch. Like, if she's undead, it doesn't work that way.
You're a very bad son, V. You didn't even bring your mother back from the dead when you had the power to do so.
The thing is, you keep saying it's like, oh, this has charisma 18. You do not have to understand how rare it is to have charisma 18. Like that is incredibly charismatic. That's like James Hetfield level of charisma when he's on the stage.
Why do you hate your mother, V? See, he can't answer that because he doesn't know. And Adam Groove says, V, it depends on what you use it for. If you make it to spread propaganda. VTuber propaganda. Well, it would hardly be a new thing.
I have lost. Shit.
Right. But now, I will wrap up. Oh, God, no. Never mind. The whole senator says, V, just based on how much damage you have done to every campaign, I am going to oppose you. I want my damn silver mine. Yes, rally against V. Hurt him. Hurt him now. If you can defeat him, Sargon will not have to. And Brian Walton has been a member for 4 months. Thank you very much. And says, keep super chatting, then Arch can never leave. Also, what's F95? It's nothing. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to talk about it on YouTube even, so it's nothing. And Dirty's King says, Modifus makes good tabletop RPGs. Star Trek game is good. Star Trek. But Star Trek is a dumb and boring setting, though. It just is. You can't bring V's mother back from the dead in Star Trek.
I actually have this guy who knows literally everything about Star Trek. Like the Guru Master. He is like the first person that actually defeated me in a dialogue on why Star Trek is shit. Like, he actually had arguments. And if you're interested, I would love to see a discussion between you and him. Like, try to trash the Star Trek universe while he tries to defend. I would think that would be interesting.
It's very simple. Star Trek is shit because it's shit. Finito. End. Done.
Okay, like why is
Finished.
it shit? Yeah.
It's shit.
No, but
I have made my assertion, V, and you cannot change my mind. My assertion is final. It is not up for discussion. My unreasonable stance has been made. This is how we should debate from now on. Just say whatever you need to be the answer, and then move on from there.
That's bigotry, Ash.
Yes.
Bigotry.
Yes.
I'll be like, yes.
And you
That
cannot
gift meme where
defeat
you're-
it. You
that
have
gift
no
meme where you're
tools
nodding the
against
head.
my bigotry. Your facts and logic have no effect here. They have no power.
Heresy's the question. Fire is
And
the answer.
now, finally, thank you very much for watching and for your generous donations. And I will see you again soon. In fact, tomorrow, as we will probably be wrapping up Baldur's Gate 3 then. Until then,
Service
have a
guarantees
good day.
citizenship.